Hello, I'm Isabel with High Tech Design Safety, here to guide you through manual and nameplate requirements for industrial equipment compliance. You are looking for certification support, and we at High Tech Design Safety specialize in certifying industrial machinery and semiconductor process equipment with more than 1,400 successful projects to our credit. Our process is designed to provide support and certification guidance throughout every stage of the project, helping manufacturers simplify the path to market. Today, we are going to discuss a part of equipment compliance that is often overlooked until the very end of a project: manuals, labels, and equipment nameplates. Many manufacturers focus heavily on electrical design, controls, and risk assessments. However, documentation and labeling requirements are also critical parts of the conformity evaluation process. Missing labels, incomplete manuals, or incorrect equipment markings can create corrective actions, delay approvals, and increase project timelines. In this video, we will cover why manuals and nameplates matter in compliance, common documentation and labeling gaps, what major standards require, and best practices for improving certification readiness. One of the biggest misconceptions in industrial equipment compliance is that manuals and labels are simply administrative deliverables. In reality, they are part of the safety system of the equipment itself. Documentation communicates important information to operators, installers, maintenance personnel, service technicians, and evaluators and inspectors. During a conformity evaluation, the evaluator reviews manuals and equipment markings to verify that the system can be installed, operated, maintained, and serviced safely. This includes information such as electrical ratings, safety warnings, maintenance procedures, lockout and tagout instructions, hazard information, equipment identification, and required operator actions. If this information is missing or inconsistent, it can quickly become a compliance issue. Additionally, documentation problems often cause delays late in projects because revisions may require engineering reviews, updated drawings, revised labels, or updated manuals before certification can continue. SEMI S2 places a strong emphasis on operator safety and equipment documentation for semiconductor process equipment. The standard requires manufacturers to provide manuals that describe the intended use of the equipment while also supporting safe operation, servicing, and maintenance activities. This can include routine operating instructions, maintenance procedures, safety-related operational guidance, lockout and tagout procedures, and service documentation. In semiconductor manufacturing environments, equipment is often highly complex and may involve hazardous energy sources, chemicals, lasers, or automated motion systems. Because of this, clear documentation becomes essential for both safety and compliance. One of the most common issues identified during evaluations is incomplete manuals because documentation is often finalized too late in the project. NFPA 79 includes detailed machine nameplate requirements for industrial machinery. Machine nameplates are not just identification tags, they provide important information needed for installation, servicing, troubleshooting, and safe operations. Typical required information may include manufacturer or supplier name, model or serial number, rated voltage, number of phases, frequency information, full load current, and largest motor rating. NFPA 79 also requires markings to be durable, legible, and clearly visible after installation. This becomes especially important in industrial environments where equipment may be exposed to vibration, chemicals, heat, or washdown procedures over time. Even when the information itself is correct, poor label placement or low-quality materials can still create nonconformities during inspections. IEC 60204-1 also contains important marking requirements focused on electrical equipment safety for machinery. The standard requires important identification and electrical information to appear on incoming power supply enclosures and equipment assemblies. These markings help identify equipment configurations, certification details, electrical characterizations, and installation information. For manufacturers selling equipment globally, this becomes even more important because different regions may require different certification markings or labeling approaches. Planning nameplate strategies earlier in the project can help manufacturers avoid redesigns and relabeling later in the certification process. Laser systems introduce additional labeling and documentation requirements under IEC 60825-1. Depending on the laser classification and system configuration, manufacturers may need hazard labels, laser classification markings, user safety instructions, exposure prevention guidance, or service precautions. These requirements are especially common in semiconductor, industrial automation, research, and advanced manufacturing environments where lasers are integrated into equipment systems. Improper laser classification or missing warnings can create both safety concerns and major certification delays. IEC 61010-1 also contains important markings and documentation expectations for electrical equipment. For example, the standard requires markings to remain visible during normal use and servicing. It also requires symbols and units to follow recognized conventions, while graphic symbols used on equipment must be explained within the documentation. These requirements help ensure operators and service personnel can safely understand the equipment and interpret warnings correctly. Even something as simple as placing labels in difficult-to-see locations can become an issue during evaluation. At HTDS, one of the most common trends we see is manufacturers waiting too long to address documentation and labeling. Some of the most common compliance gaps include missing safety warnings, incomplete electrical ratings, missing lockout procedures, poor label durability, inconsistent documentation revisions, missing simple explanations, and incorrect nameplate information. Fortunately, many of these issues can be prevented with better planning earlier in the design process. Using standardized templates, coordinating engineering and documentation teams, and reviewing markings during design reviews can significantly improve certification readiness and reduce corrective actions later. At High Tech Design Safety, we support manufacturers through documentation reviews, conformity evaluations, nameplate assessments, labeling guidance, corrective action support, and certification preparation. Our goal is to simplify the certification process and help clients reduce delays while improving overall compliance readiness. When you reach out to us at hightechdesignSafety.com/getaquote or using the link in the description of this video, we can also provide support materials and templates that help organize project documentation and streamline the certification process. Manuals, labels, and equipment nameplates are foundational parts of industrial equipment compliance. While they are sometimes treated as secondary deliverables, the standards outlined in this presentation clearly demonstrate that documentation and equipment markings are critical components of the conformity evaluation process. Manufacturers that proactively address documentation requirements earlier in the design phase are often better positioned to reduce delays, improve project efficiency, and accelerate approvals. If you are currently developing industrial machinery or semiconductor process equipment and need support with manuals, labels, nameplates, or conformity evaluations, we would be happy to help. You can contact us through the link in the description below to learn more about our certification support services. And if you liked this video, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more information on industrial equipment compliance. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to helping you simplify your path to market.